what's up? How gangster are you, cuz? I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. I go hard, cuz. Today I got time, cuz. Today I got time, cuz. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz.
I'm wearing pants.
What's up? How gangster are you, cuz? I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me.
Whoop.
I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me.
I go hard, cuz. Hey, you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. The AI tried to drag me, honey, the last time I went live. Hold on, put my screen real quick. Can y'all see me and hear me? I was, you know how the AI be trying to do a summary? And they were like, the AI was like, yeah, Lovelyti got up and she wasn't wearing, you know, professional pants. And people were talking about how unprofessional she was. I'm like, because I have on pajama bottoms? It's literally 10 o'clock at night. I was doing a late night stream. It was party up top and pajama bottoms on the bottom. And y'all remember, I mean, I was sick. I'm still kind of under the weather, but I'm feeling a lot better. So yeah, the AI tried to drag me. I said, well, let me go ahead and let Mr. AI know I am wearing pants. Like, why were they mad like I got caught in some drawers? I could see if I was creeping, I had on a thong or something. I had on pajama pants. So I am wearing pants. I'm fully dressed today. So I said, not somebody who can't even wear a pair of pants trying to clock me for not wearing professional pants. Okay? I don't like this AI shit. Don't be clocking my tea, bitch. Anybody ask you all that? Anyways, I hope you guys are doing good, y'all. I've been wanting to go live all week, but y'all know I've been under the weather. I am feeling a lot better. It seems like everybody got sick, honey, who went out of town. I know a few of the girls were sick. I think sometimes when you travel, being, you know, on the airplane and all that stuff, it can take a toll, child. It can take a toll. So, but I feel a lot better. I'm glad to be back. Thank you to all the people who, you know, who took time to watch my Puerto Rico vlog. I appreciate the feedback. But me and RG were having a really interesting conversation. And I'm going to address this comment right here because it goes with the conversation that me and RG were having. And I already knew the vlogs were not going to get a lot of views. Like, people don't really like positive shit. Like, let's keep it real. Anytime you're doing something fun and not the norm, you know, it bothers people's spirit. People don't like to see you happy. You know, motherfuckers love being miserable and angry. And so RG was like, she watched it. She was like, man, you got me wanting to go to Puerto Rico. The vlog was really fun. You know, y'all look like y'all had a good time. And so somebody left this comment. I'm going to share this with y'all because I had to, you know, kind of check them real quick. Pull up this weird ass comment. All right. So this person here, okay, Dongali EE9W. I ain't never even heard this motherfucker. So they wrote, we don't want to see this. Showing off how much you can send down a trip. First of all, it's spend, okay, not send. Second of all, so I respond back. I said, then don't click on the video, goofball. I don't give a shit what you want to see or don't see. You don't control my channel. Now, what I'm going to say is this. Because a lot of people are just miserable and, you know, mad at their own lives and they want to project. One thing y'all know on my channel, if the volume is low, turn it up. Because my volume's all the way up and I don't want to be shouting into the mic because then y'all be like, you're too loud. But one thing I don't do is clickbait, okay? So I'm never going to write, here goes a picture of Rihanna's nipples. And then you click on it hoping to see Rihanna's nipples. And then it's me like, hey, you guys, you know, it's your girl T. How y'all doing? Like, I don't clickbait on my channel. So if something is saying Lovelty's vlog in Puerto Rico and you don't want to see somebody happy, having a good old funky time on their birthday, you know, with people who care and love them, then, bitch, why did you click? That's the stuff I don't understand. People will, like, click on stuff and then get in their feelings. Like, that's silly. I'm never going to click on something that I'm not interested in. Everything I have on this channel is clearly titled. I do not work with clickbait. I don't feel like anything needs to be clickbaity or whatever. Everything is titled. If it's in the title, that is what I'm talking about. So if you don't want to see vlogs, if you don't want to see me talking about, you know, Puerto Rico, then you don't click. Like, how hard is your self-control that you're going to click on something just to be mad about it? So I just had to address that. I thought that was funny. Somebody, y'all still saying the volume is low? Hold on, let me bring the mic a little bit closer. It shouldn't be low, though, because the mic is all the way up. Hold on. Is that better? Because I don't feel like my volume is low. Everybody's saying it's fine. Okay, might be on y'all's end because the mic is literally right here. And then the problem is when it's too close and I'm drinking water, then y'all be crying. I don't like when you swallow. It makes me feel like you're, swallowing, giving head. So that's why I don't want the mic to, I don't want y'all to hear me swallowing because y'all complaining about that. Okay, so it's fine. Okay, good. Okay, good. Because I'm like, damn, y'all can hear me swallowing. It's just water. Relax, okay? Freaks. It's just water. That's it. Okay? So it's a lot going on. We're going to get into it. Like I said, I hope everybody's doing good, though. You know what I'm saying? And the people who are miserable and bitter and angry, let them stew in the misery, child. Okay? Life is too short. I had a ball. One of the best birthdays I've had as an adult, and unforgettable. I'm feeling good spirits. I'm feeling healthier. You know what I'm saying? Health is wealth. So I don't take my days for granted, honey. Okay. Shout out to everybody. What that dude write on Instagram? The video I had posted about how like all the new 40-year-olds are like the millennials and Gen X, and how we look a lot younger than the 40-year-olds back in like the 80s and 90s. He made this post. It was so funny. So just shout out to everybody, honey, living their life, living their best life. So thank you, Corey. He said, forget the haters. Oh, yeah, I keep my hater blockers on. We're not paying their asses no mind. Life is too short, and I'm blessed. So let's go ahead. I want to talk about this Young Miami Carisha situation on Carisha Please. As y'all know, she did an interview with Saucy Santana, whatever his name is, Santana. So she did an interview with him, and y'all know I don't like Carisha. That's not a secret. I'm not a fan of hers. I just didn't like the way she kept piping up the diddler. I've never been a fan of Diddy, so even when they got together, I wasn't too much worried about them dating because she's grown, right? You know what I'm saying? She's 28, he's 105, whatever, right? She's a grown woman. And I'm like, hell, if that's something that can help her situation and get her into certain doors, then do you. But understand that he's not going to marry you. He's not going to have you be one of his chosen baby mamas. Just enjoy for what the fuck it is. But then she tried to act like she was the main one. She was online fighting with people and, threatening to make Diddy essay other women. She was just doing a bit too much. And so when I seen that she was taking, the status of being one of Diddy's girls to her head, that's when I got turned off of Carisha. That's when I was like, Carisha, bitch, please, okay? You're doing a bit too much for Mr. Old-ass peeing and balls, okay? So she decided to do an interview on Revolt TV, funny enough, right? And so she's doing an interview with Saucy Santana. And it was very interesting. So we're going to watch the interview. I went ahead and I broke down parts of it. So we're going to all watch it together. I might pause it in between. Go ahead and get it set up here. Now, and I'm going to say this. I watched the full thing because I think that you have to watch stuff in context. Even if you don't like the individuals involved, you need to watch the full context, right? And I will say, me being as unbiased as I can, because I went into it, I don't like her. I had my tiny violin ready. Let me pull it out the case. I had my violin ready, okay? You know what I mean? Like, I was ready to rock out. But I will say this, for somebody who keeps a tiny violin on their desk and who does not like Carisha, I did enjoy the interview. I did think she was being pretty honest about everything. And I like the fact that Saucy Santana, okay, Mr. Work, he was actually asking some real questions. He was asking some real questions as a friend. He wasn't just letting stuff slide. I did like their dynamic, the kind of back and forth. I walked away like it wasn't too bad, right? Thank you, oh my Ken. It wasn't too bad. I thought she did pretty good. And I don't like her, so I have no dog in this fight. So I went in ready to drag, what I'm saying, by the hair weave and shit. But I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. You're actually being honest. I thought she was just going to be up there crying tattooed tears and shit. So we're going to play some clips that, that I put together from the interview. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to talk about it here. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Give me just a second here. All right, Miss Carisha Please is in the building. So we're going to go ahead and watch this together. And if y'all feel the need to pull out your tiny violins, feel free. Okay? So we're just going to listen to this.
What's going on? Like, we ain't even going that route. So that was my experience with him.
So a lot of the things that people really like say about him, you didn't experience that as in dating. That's not something that you saw. So is that the reason why you never said anything? Is that the reason why when all of these allegations and lawsuits came apart, like, why didn't you speak?
Because I can't speak on something that wasn't my experience. And I can't speak on something that I don't know. I can't speak on these allegations because I wasn't around at the time. I don't know that person, and that wasn't my experience.
So with you being, I feel like, a survivor of domestic violence, he never hit you in a relationship. He was never violent. Was that something that you had to tolerate, or that wasn't a part of, because I feel like that's the biggest thing to him right now is, what he going through in these lawsuits and, that video that came out. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people are wondering, was that your experience? And I know personally that you've been through domestic violence before, and I don't think that's something that, I know that's something that you've grown from and that you don't tolerate.
I've been through domestic violence in 2 relationships. And I told myself, after the second relationship, I would never put myself in that situation again, especially now being that I'm a mom. I was a mother then, but I have a daughter. Like, I would never put myself in that position. I don't stand for domestic violence. I'm just not going for that.
So do you feel like with dating Diddy, like, was it a business relationship? Do you feel like it was beneficial for you?
I feel like it was beneficial for both of us. I think that, I was able to come and be a brand ambassador for DeLeon and take it to a whole nother level, because I feel like, I won't say nobody wasn't drinking DeLeon, but...
Nobody wasn't drinking DeLeon.
Okay, so let me pause it right there. So I do believe her when she said that wasn't her experience. Why? Because let's keep it real. She's getting the so-called, quote-unquote, somewhat healed version of Diddy. Even though Diddy was beating on Gina and some of the other women, Carisha is a celebrity. So he's gonna, and she already had built her own little base and everything else. And Carisha's hood. She's from Miami. She's loud. She's uncouth. So if he would have treated her in the same way as a Cassie, it wouldn't have ended good for Diddy. Because, see, a lot of these dudes know who to play these games with and who not to. See, Cassie always had a more demure, quiet personality, so it's very hard to read her. She was one of those types, be seen and not heard. Carisha's not that type. So for her, I believe that she did get a different type of Diddy, unlike Gina and Cassie and the others. Because remember, J-Lo, even back then when Diddy was super evil, remember Gene Deal and everybody said that he never put hands on J-Lo. The same way he put hands on Misa and on Kim. Why? Because J-Lo was also an A-lister. So if he would have treated J-Lo in the same way that he treated Kim and Misa, who most people didn't know. They just knew they were Diddy baby mamas. Right? It was a whole different story. So I believe her when she's saying that. I don't think Diddy, put hands on her. Now, I think he had her doing some freaky shit, bitch, because I ain't forgot them white fingernails that you had not too long ago. Okay? She's wearing that white nail polish, just like Cassie was saying. I do believe she was involved in a lot of sexual shit with Diddy. But as far as physical violence, I believe that Diddy knew who he could punch in the back of the head and who he couldn't. Okay? And I also believe that he went into that relationship. A fair trade ain't no robbery. Let's keep it real. Diddy's old. Been around since the, the 80s. Like in music and stuff. Carisha at the time was hot. The city girls were popping. He wants to be able to tap in with the youth. So what better way to tap in with the youth than to get with a popping, up-and-coming female rapper who has a personality? Because one thing Carisha does have is a personality. So I believe they were both using each other, and I said that. He's using her for her youth. She's young, she's a young thing on his arm. He's trying to look more pro-black. Remember in 2020, he was Mr. Woke. So he can't pop up with another Asian chick publicly. He can't pop up with another Latina publicly. So let me pop up with this young black girl from the hood. So that way I look good to, the young black fans. Because remember, he had a baby with an Asian. Nobody knew that Asian lady until the baby was born. So Diddy knows what he's doing. And she was definitely in it for a bag. So we're not going to act like this was just strictly about dick and love. You were definitely in there for a bag. You were definitely in there for status as well. Okay? We're going to keep going.
But when I came, it was just like, it's a city girl. Summer we drinking, Deli Young, we acting bad. So I felt like I was an asset. I honestly just feel like with Diddy, like, I met him at a pee party, and I don't know what his intentions was, but I don't know if it was like business or he really liked me, but I felt like, when he got me, he really saw something in me, and that's why he was like, you know what, you got a big personality, like, you should do a podcast. Like, you know how to engage in conversations, like, you know how to ask good questions, so I felt like, I came into his world, and I was able to, like, turn everything he had going on up a notch. Like, he had Deli on, I was able to have the whole world drinking Deli on, putting in his songs, like, I made it popular,
Yeah.
And then with Revolt, I was able to come and make it a number one podcast on Revolt.
Yeah.
So I felt like, and then with him, it was like he was able to, take my career to the next level. I did the Met Gala. I got ready with Vogue. Like, I wasn't going into the relationship thinking like, I want to get a purse. I want to go on private jets. I want to get diamonds. Like, I feel like I'm up on a mogul. I want to learn something. Like, I want to learn business.
Now, this is the part where she's capping, okay? Because not one time did you ever get on social media and be like, hey, I'm on my mogul shit. Diddy show me how to start a clothing line. I want to be a big brand. No, what you did on social media was call everybody broke, tell everybody they were jealous. You know what I'm saying? That he's taking you on $200,000 a month shopping sprees. So much so that Diddy had to get on the Breakfast Club and basically say, no, he's not giving her $200,000 a month to go shopping. But that, he'll treat her nice and buy her bags and stuff. So that's the part where I do feel like she was capping. She was definitely using this relationship to shit on the public and act like, she really came up. Because up until then, the biggest celebrity she had dated was Southside. Let's keep going.
I learned how to, okay, you got a network. How can I get a network? Or, you had a Sean John. How can I make Carisha please the next Sean John? So I went into that relationship like on a like more of like, I want to become a mogul and I want to learn up on you. Most people just want to get their body done. You want to get a trip. You want to just do that video. No, I wasn't one of them.
And I that's what I respected.
Okay, you're lying. You were one of them. Again, she sat on social media and bragged about the lifestyle she was living with Diddy and how he was taking her on shopping sprees. And she never talked about anything of substance with this relationship. It was always what he's doing for her and how she can make Diddy make other bitches eat her coochie. That's the tea that she was giving us on social media. So this new tea is very interesting. So we're going to keep going.
Because even though you a city girl, meeting your best friend and knowing you very womanly. I always say that. And like just a grown woman. And so I even seen the elevation in your production and your team that you started hiring business managers.
Hello.
And I feel like
I think that like when you get around people, you see certain things. Like you able to you should be able to learn something from somebody. And I felt like I was able to see like how should my business be operating. Like I should have a chief of staff.
Yeah.
I should have a business manager. I should have all these things in place. And that's what I was learning. Like I took that more of like a learning experience as far as like trying to become a mogul. That's why I'm like, I'm a mogul. I'm a businesswoman. I'm not just a rapper. Like I'm big in rap.
It'll never be the same motherfucker the old days.
I feel like once we go to the internet, that's kind of like I'm a type of person, like, if we feel some type of way, we can hash this shit.
Okay, so this is the part where she's talking about her relationship with JT, because as we all know, her and JT fell out a few months ago. They're cordial now, but it's never going to be like the original City Girls.
Behind closed doors, you could call my phone, we could text each other, we could cuss each other out, but like once it goes to the internet, I feel like you're trying to get people to pick a side. Like you putting people in our business to pick a side, and I don't fuck with that. Because I feel like we've been friends for so long that if we gonna go to the internet, we gotta air each other dirty laundry. Like I'm gonna have to say some shit about you, you're gonna have to say some shit about me, and people gonna have to pick a side. And if we real friends, we ain't going to the internet. I'm not going to the internet. And I felt like, I'm always the one that's going to let the narrative run and let people think what they want to think and not clear nothing up. Because it's just, it'll never be that serious to me. Like, I'm cool. I ain't got to clear nothing up.
So how long behind the scenes do you feel like have things been rocky between y'all two?
I feel like...
Okay, I respect what she's saying here. Because she's saying if we're real friends, I'm not going to go to the internet. And people are going to say stuff on the internet. I'm not going to address it because it's not that serious to me. So I can respect her for that. Because only like I feel like when people try and take stuff to the internet and they're supposed to be cool with you, it just shows their true character. It shows that they were just trying to use you, use your energy, and that you guys were never really friends. So I say when people take stuff online, let them, let the chips fall where they may. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, Carisha's saying low-key the same thing, that she was very hurt about what JT did when she took it to the internet.
It's been a minute. Since shit been going on behind closed doors. Like, I just feel like we outgrew each other. I feel like she was in LA, I was in Miami. She was been working on her shit. I didn't know. And I just feel like every time we try to get together, it just didn't hit.
So do you feel like distance, you living in Miami, she living in LA, did that play a part in the wedge of y'all two?
I don't know.
Did y'all go to the studio together? How was recording? Because y'all last album didn't do well. And I feel like even in interviews, y'all weren't in sync. And it didn't look like something that just happened. It looked like something that's been occurring.
Yeah. I just feel like when we got together, it just wasn't hitting. I just felt like we was in two different headspaces. Like, the way we dressed was different. Like, I'm more of, I wear a little and JT want to wear something covered. So I just felt like whenever we tried to get together, it just didn't connect. Like, we'll be on tour. She got her own dressing room. I got my own dressing room. She riding with her own glam team. I ride with my own glam team. When we get on the stage and we do our routine, that was probably like the only interaction we had at the time when we was on tour together. So I don't really know like what was the moment that separated us, but I just felt like it became a time where like when we was getting together, it just wasn't connecting. And I was just like, ain't no money in the group. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to the studio together. I'm doing a feature. People calling for the City Girls. It's either me or it's you. It just wasn't connecting no more. And I just felt like that's what really made me like start my own brand. Like, I gotta do something because I'm in this group. The group ain't making no money. We not working. So it just became a point where we was just...
Now, what I find very interesting about this part, she's basically telling the behind the scenes tea of the City Girls. They weren't making no money. They were basically going broke. She had to start her own brand. She had to figure out a way to feed her kids. But yet around this time, they were both on the internet cussing folks out, calling people broke, going in on people's clothes and looks. So again, a lot of these celebs sit online and they front. They know that their shit's not even tight financially, but they want to sit here and project and call everybody else broke. So now we're getting the real tea that both of them were going broke.
It's like on two different pages. And I felt like whenever we just a video shoot, just anything, like, it just wasn't connecting. And I was just like, you know what, I gotta like figure something out because I do got kids. And that's what really made me start doing like ritual land and getting into my merch and things like that, because I just felt like the group just wasn't hitting them out.
Basically, right now, today, it's not bad, it's not good, but do you still feel like you would consider JT a sister?
Yeah, I feel like we grew up together. I feel like I'm gonna always look at her as family, but again, like everything, I'm not gonna sit here and just like do that strategic question. How are you? Yeah, that's my sister. We go, no, shit ain't all good, but it's not all bad neither. And I just want to move forward from that. I don't want to have to keep answering that question. It's just what it is. It's nothing going on. We not in the group no more. She went her own way, I went my own way, and that's just what we had.
Okay, period.
And I don't want to answer it no more, so don't ask me.
So my last question for the smoke. Are you still dating Puff Daddy?
I'm not. I said I was gonna tell my truth. I think that it really, really, really hurt me because I just feel like, Puff was a really, really good person to me.
Yeah,
I feel like
pull out the tiny violins.
He elevated me and he saw a lot of things in me. And I feel like that's like one of his specialties. Like, he know how to like find people and, identify their talent. And he was able to see more than music. That's what people don't understand about like me and Puff relationship. They was just like, you were so loud and you were part of your brand and like you just thought that you had something and it wasn't that, because I think the same thing with him. Like he didn't expect to fall in love with me because we did end up falling in love with each other. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, it's just everything that's going on. Like I don't want to get caught up in that. And I just need a moment to just pour into me. Nobody called to check on me. Nobody called to see like how I was feeling. Like it was really like an aha. Like, oh my God, bitch, you thought that you had this nigga. You thought that you was going up, and I didn't think anything. Mm-hmm. I got with a nigga and I did what I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And the nigga was doing what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I get with this nigga and just go to Chanel? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to get a podcast and I still got my podcast with and without him.
Okay. All right, Carisha. All right, so that's her interview. The end, like I said, was kind of BS because I kind of felt like, no, you, Carisha, let's keep it real. Child, let me go ahead and share my screen. Carisha, is this you? Who remembers her at the BET Awards looking a damn fool, holding up that "Go Poppy, I Poppy"? And look at how Uzi's looking at her. JT's just like, ugh. This was you. You were loud with this relationship. You were annoying. You were throwing it in everybody's face. Anybody who was like, okay, you're with fucking bisexual Diddy, like, enjoy. They were haters. They were broke. You went in on everybody who said anything about this relationship. So you can't get mad that the same people that you were clowning and calling broke and dusty and just mad that they're not in your position, you can't get mad when they decide not to reach out. I'm sorry. We're too broke to reach out and care. You called us broke. You called us haters. Bitch, well, that's fine. I'm going to just keep my dusty, broke, hater ass over here, and you deal with all the backlash that you're dealing with. So like I said, in certain parts of the interview, I really did like it. I felt like she was being very honest. But in other parts, let's keep it real, you put yourself in this position, okay? You were sitting here singing his praises. Remember, she, go Poppy, I Poppy, 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 pop, 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 okay? And then what did Diddy call her? Oh, that's my shoddy doo-wop. She's holding up signs, bitch. Go Poppy, 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 okay? She's holding up signs and shit. And Diddy's like, yeah, that's my shoddy doo-wop. Yeah, the energy's not the same. So people are going to laugh. I'm sorry. People are going to laugh. You made yourself look like a fool. You was going way too hard for a man that, bitch, from what we're seeing in these lawsuits, he done had the whole industry, allegedly. They got Meek Mill's name in there, Usher, poor Justin Bieber, allegedly. You know, so it's like she was doing a bit much. Shoddy Wop was doing too much. You were cussing out the Asian girl who had his baby. You went off on the other Asian girl. You threatened to make her eat you out. So you were doing way too much. So because of your own antics, that is why people didn't care. That's why when his downfall happened, people drug you into it and made you, and laughed. And let's not forget, you too were named in a lawsuit. They said you, 50 Cent baby mama, Daphne Joy, y'all were out here trafficking. You made your cousin forcibly suck that man's peen. He said he didn't want no head from your cousin. And you made your cousin go in that bathroom and suck his peen until he came. That's not right. Allegedly. That's what they said in the lawsuit. I'm just repeating the lawsuit. Okay? So, yeah, people are going to be kind of standoffish. Because we're hearing that you're a sex trafficker, you're forcing head on people, you're trying to force Diddy to make people give you head. You're just attached to the head game. And it has folks nervous. So people are going to distance themselves. You can't cry tattooed tears now when you was claiming this man loud and proud. So, at the end of the day, like I said, it was a very interesting interview. But I also feel like because it was on Revolt TV and because Diddy didn't put any hands on her, you may have had to do some Tusi or whatever, the pink drug that they were moving per the lawsuit. But, I think it was a way to almost help clean up his image a little bit and make Revolt kind of look good because, Diddy owned a fraction in revolt. They've since distanced themselves from Diddy, right? But a lot of people are like, when I see it, I see Diddy. So I'm not fooling with revolt. So this is a way to kind of be like, oh, well, even though he was a part of, revolt, he wasn't that bad because Carisha's singing his praises. But I do agree that she had a different Diddy. I don't think she had the Kim Porter Diddy. I don't think she had the Cassie Diddy or the Misa Diddy. I think she had a different Diddy. And that is because of Carisha's persona. She doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. And if he was putting hands on her and, doing all types of crazy stuff, she'd have took it to social media. So he knew, I don't think he was changed. I just think that he knew not to do certain things to Carisha that he was doing to Gina Hun and the other girls. So I just hope from this, I don't know. I don't know what, I don't know if she's going to drop an album, just, do podcasting. But I'm glad that she got to speak, her truth as she sees it. Because she's allowed to, speak her truth and speak about her situation. So I am glad that she did do that. And I thought Saucy did pretty good. I thought he asked her some decent questions. You know what I'm saying? As a friend, I enjoyed the interview. I thought it was decent. But I'm still going to clock her tea at certain parts. There were certain parts of the interview that to me was just, full of crap. And I'm not going to act like all of a sudden this man is just so changed. No, he's changed towards you, but not towards others. And then on top of that, like I said, she can't get mad because nobody reached out to her in sympathy. Because again, you had no sympathy for anybody else. Anybody says anything to you, you're dragging them. She's the same person. When her and Armand got into it, she was saying that YouTubers are broke and all this other stuff, and you're just a broke blogger. So, she loves saying that. But now we're finding out that her and JT weren't living that trife life. So, very interesting. All right, let me go ahead and read these comments. I feel like Moneybag Mo's in the building because I saw a bunch of money bags here. So let me go ahead. Shout out to David Camarillo. Thank you for the $4.99, David. I will see you soon. Can't wait to meet you. Professor Parcels, thank you for the $1.99. Appreciate you. Clove sent $1.99, has been sipping since 2016. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Dexter Davis said, what's up, T? Love from Ratchet Ass, Florida. My name in the Discord is King Judah. Oh, okay. I didn't know you was King Judah in the Discord. Okay. Well, thank you for that. And I will see you soon. Cannot wait to see a lot of y'all in the upcoming weeks here. Moonlit said $1.99 says, T, any ideas when the Discord will be open again? Excuse me. Probably won't be open. It's August. Probably September, October-ish. So right now we're just keeping it tight in there. But once it's open, we always make an announcement on the membership or Patreon for people who want to join. And then at that point, you're able to join. So thank you for the super chat. CB Mail sent $4.99 says, longtime supporter. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Clara B sent $1.99 sent sending love from NY. My family loves you. Thank you. Shout out to my nutty New Yorkers in the house. Thank you so much, sis. She 37 sent 10 says, absolutely love all your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Corey Smith sent the super sticker. Thank you, Corey. Let's see here. Stop the Cat says, stop it, Cryisha. If Diddy wasn't exposed, you'd still be abusing others for fun and profit. She's playing nice because of that lawsuit. Clock that T. Because again, like I said, when she wrote that tweet, I wish he would have asked her about that tweet, but I get it. He's not going to ask certain things. That kind of showed me her character. And that also showed me that she knew the power that Diddy had and that she was willing to use his power to punish other people. And that's the part that I call cap on, that I can't feel bad for her. And I'm glad that people didn't reach out because people saw the fuck shit for what it was. And they said, well, that's on you and your freaky ass cousin. Y'all deal with the drama. We're out. We're going to sit here and sip this lawsuit tea and just fall back. So I don't blame people. And then people got to think too, like when you're talking about serious allegations and the things that's tied to Diddy, people don't want to be attached to that. That's something serious. And people can say what they want to say about, celebrities or influencers or social media. somebody's brand is their brand. And when you work hard for your brand, you're not going to allow some fuck shit to fuck up something that you built. You know what I'm saying? So people have the right to defend their brand and to protect their brand from fucked up ass individuals. You know what I mean? Just like in this case with Kai Cenat and what he's going through, you know, when he fired that, the producer, or no, the videographer, excuse me, that was talking to underage girls, and he, you know, distanced himself, as he should. Nobody's about to stand there and deal with somebody who doesn't mean you good. When you don't mean somebody good, you get cut the fuck off. That's just what it is. So I don't blame people for cutting off Carisha and saying, well, since you're attached to Diddy, I'm out. Because his allegations are very serious. So I'm sure the only people really contacting Diddy is Uncle Rush Card. Has anybody seen Jay-Z? We ain't seen him. We ain't heard from him. The only thing we seen is that it's so bad they done made that sketch of Jay-Z. That's the last thing we seen of Jay-Z is that dusty sketch. Let's put it back up for old time laughs. The internet said this is the last time anybody has seen Jay-Z. I'm sorry, this sketch never gets old. Do you recognize this man? The internet's been looking for him for months. Remember at one point, Diddy came out and said the only person who could call him Sean, you know, is Sean Carter. So, yeah, we ain't seen Jay-Z either, child. That Jay-Z sketch takes me out every single time. So hopefully Jay-Z's reaching out to Diddy behind the scenes and checking out his friend, okay? But let me see here. All right, Monique Moneybag Mo is in the building, y'all. And she sent another $499.99. She said, hell yeah, T, on my birthday. Wow. So you know what? That is why we vibe. I get it now. That is why Moneybag Mo goes so hard. She is Team Leo. I had no idea. So happy birthday to you, sis. Thank you so much for always coming through and blessing my channel. It means a lot to me because you don't have to do it and you do it anyways. Thank you. I pray and hope that you have a blessed birthday. Enjoy your Leo season. Go hard. Because like I said, the reason why us Leos go hard for the whole Leo season is because we did not get any birthdays during the school year. Okay? Everybody else got birthdays. You know what I'm saying? I get it, school gets out, but at least half of Gemini, half of y'all got birthdays at school. The other half didn't. But Leos, no Leos. Okay? Even what is in September? I think those are Virgo people. My mom is a Virgo, I believe. The September people. Even, you know, before school starts, at least the rest of y'all get celebrated in school. So really, Leo, the month of, you know, that Leo season, we're the only kids that we don't get any type of school celebration. Unless your dumb ass was in summer school. And even then, you know, and I'm no shade, I went to summer school one year. And even then, nothing happened. I was at summer school and it was like, oh, it's my birthday. They're like, okay. I was like, damn, I'm in summer school and still nothing went down during summer school. So, you know, thank you. Thank you, my Leo sis. I just hope and pray that you enjoy your birthday. Shout out to all the Leos celebrating their birthdays this month. I appreciate y'all. This is our season, and we're going to enjoy it. We're going to go hard. So definitely enjoy your day, and thank you for always coming through and showing me love. That means a lot to me. Because I go through a lot. I go through a lot of nonsense, you know what I'm saying, outside of social media. And I appreciate that I have people who genuinely care about me, who genuinely love me, you know what I mean, and who genuinely support me, and they see the BS for what it is, and they keep it pushing. So thank you guys. It does. It means a lot. It really does. Man, Moneybag Mo, I swear. I want to send you something for your birthday now. Goodness. She's over here blessing me on my birthday. That's amazing. Let me see. Hold on. Ashanti Shay says her birthday is July 29th. Okay, Leo twin. That's my birthday, July 29th. So that's awesome. Happy belated birthday to you, Ashanti. Okay. Not, who is this? Nina the Dragon talking about big Capricorn energy. Ma'am, I'm going to tell you my oldest son because he's a Capricorn. we celebrate y'all in the winter, okay? This is summer season. We're not trying to think about snow and ice, ma'am. She got the little billy goat and everything. Miss Nene going hard, honey. She got the little billy goat. Ma'am, let us enjoy the summer sun, okay? Sound like my son. I can't wait till Capricorn season. Yep, you're going to be waiting for the winter, okay? So, yeah, Moneybag Mo, enjoy your birthday. Thank you so much for coming through. Let's see here. Deja says, happy birthday, Mo. Let me know if you're looking for a daughter. I cook and clean. Oh, I know that's right. Joe says, happy birthday, Mo. Oh, y'all is showing love. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Shani and who else? It just refreshed. Shani and somebody else, they're gifting memberships. So that's really nice. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh, and Kemi. Shani and Kemi are gifting people memberships. So thank y'all. C. Johnson sent a $4.99 sticker. Thank you, C. Johnson. Camilla Steffens sent 10. Says, hey, sweet cheeks. Gotta show love to my favorite on YouTube. I will catch the playback with the gang. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming through. Let's see here. Cutie Pie says, we get it. Moneybag Mo is here. Stop flooding the chat and have real dialogue. Ooh, the shade. Yeah, they do be going hard with the money bags. I definitely get it. I definitely get it. Mandarins91 sent 5 says, happy Leo season to T. Moneybag Mo, my mom are all fellow Leos. That's what's up. And happy Leo season to your mom as well. So thank you, sis. Goth Boy. What's up, Goth Boy? He says, happy belated birthday, T. I love and miss you. Glad to see you're doing well. Hope your birthday was lit. I'll forever be a tea sipper no matter what. Thank you so much, and that means a lot to me. I'm glad. I got my folks who go hard for me, so thank you, Goth Boy. I appreciate you. One of my favorite mods, man. Love me some Goth Boy. Let's see here. Chrissy says, Diddy likes men. Carisha, please pack it the F up. Y'all are a mess. Type Variant says, happy birthday, Mo, and happy belated birthday, T. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Wanya Matunda. Ooh, I like that. It's a beautiful name, Matunda. Says, happy belated birthday, T. Glad you enjoyed your trip to PR. As always, you were speaking the truth and facts. Love you, sis. Love you, too, and thank you so much, sis. Rashana Show sent 199 says, happy birthday, Mo. Tomorrow's my birthday. 810. Happy early birthday to you. Represent Leo season. Thank you for checking in. Lisa sent 499 says, what do you do for a living, Moneybag Mo? Yeah, that is her business. Let's not be tacky. You know, whatever she does for a living, she's free to do with her money what she likes. If she wants to send super chats or not, that is her business. But y'all always ask that, and that's just kind of rude. Like, we're not gonna do that. People have assumed she's a celebrity. I don't know. I don't know who she is. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is she comes through and she shows love. Some people got it like that. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But yeah, definitely happy birthday. Let's see here. Nala says, cancers don't get school birthdays. They forget about us. Yeah, some of y'all don't. What's at the beginning of June? Is it Gemini still at the beginning? So it'll be like the cancers from like the 22nd. Yeah, y'all don't. From the 22nd till July 22nd is cancers. Okay, because my brother's a cancer. Yeah, some of y'all don't, but we're talking about Leos next. Get those cancers out the pride line now. What? Cancer season's over. She tried to make it about her sign. Those cancers don't either. Okay. But yeah, they don't. Okay. All right, cancers. All right, shout out to the crabs. TC says, T, have you been watching the Olympics? I have. The boys have been watching the basketball. I really just watch the gymnast. I try and watch the track and field when I can. Simone Biles is killing it. Sunny Lee, she's from the Twin Cities. Sunny, she's been doing her thing. I like the gymnasts because they do stuff that I could not do. And it blows my mind. So I have been watching them. Sometimes I catch it live, and then sometimes I'll just watch the replay on YouTube. But now I didn't know. I guess I didn't realize it. When did they start making the Olympics every 2 years? We literally found this out in Puerto Rico. Because when I was younger, it was every 4 years. Then I noticed, like, I'm like, well, damn, didn't they just have an Olympics not too long ago? When did they change it to every 2 years? Because I just found that out literally 2 days before my birthday. Because I'm like, damn, so that's why they keep coming back on my TV? Somebody said, because they're saying that they moved it to every 2 years. When did this happen? Winters every 2 years, so the summer is still every 4? Oh, different seasons. Okay, so the summer is still every 4 years. Okay, so the winter is what they moved to every 2 years. Oh, okay. Because I remember when I was younger, it was just every 4 years, you know? And you waited. I remember, like, back when I was younger, my favorite Olympics, I think, was like the summer, I would want to say like 96, 97, I think 96, with Dominique Dawes. I love Dominique Dawes. She was one of my favorite gymnasts. Dominique Dawes. I remember that back in the day. Now we got a whole new crop of girls, so yes. Let's see here. So let me go ahead and get to the next story here. What time is it? Ooh, 7:36, child. Time be flying. So we got to talk about this MrBeast situation. Now, this is getting worse. So we talked last week about the transgender guy on his team that turned transgender. But per his sister, he's just a cross-dresser looking for attention. Ava Chris Tyson. So we talked about him and, you know, the things that he was doing in the Discord server. So the guy that I told y'all to go watch the video who kind of broke stuff down, Dogpack 404, well, he came back with another video 2 days ago called MrBeast is Evil. And in that video, he had a man on there named Josh. Let me see if I have his name here. I have some notes. He's a former employee. Where's his name at? All these damn former employees. I don't know. It's Josh. Oh, Jake. I said Josh. I'm sorry. Jake Waddell. Y'all, I'll be bad with Dave's child. His name is Jake Waddell. And so he was a former MrBeast employee. And again, I didn't watch MrBeast. And even my kids don't watch MrBeast because they're older now. So I didn't know. The only thing I knew about MrBeast was that he was like helping people in Africa, giving people cars and homes. He was, you know, saving people's eyesight. So I didn't know there was like a whole nother side to the MrBeast channel where he's doing all these crazy, you know, challenges and things like that. I'm just not into like really corporate, like highly produced YouTube content like that. Because if that's the case, I'll just watch television. If I want to see challenges and all that stuff, I'll just watch it on TV. But I get it. The youth, that's who it's geared for. It's not geared for my grown ass. It's geared for the youth, right? For like the babies. So a lot of young people watch MrBeast and they want to look up to him. I see him at my grocery store. Like when I go to Walmart, he has like chocolate bars and Feastable cookies and stuff. Excuse me. I've never bought any of his stuff. Not interested. But, you know, I thought, you know, he's the most popular. So I assumed he was one of the, you know, so-called good guys. Well, now we're finding out he's very sadistic, very weird. And so this former employee is talking about the abuse that he faced under MrBeast and company when he worked for them. And so he was saying that basically MrBeast was making all this money. He has all these people working for him. And the work environment is very strenuous, right? You're working long hours. You know, he makes people... Like, let's say he wants you to go and ask a store employee, can they shoot in the store? If the store employee says no, he has in the handbook that no doesn't mean no, which is kind of creepy because no should mean no in any situation. I don't care if it's about sex and I tell you no and you still proceed, then now that's SA, possibly the R word, right? If you're asking me for something, like you're asking me like, you know, can I get some money and I tell you no, bitch, no means no. Don't keep asking, right? So, but in Mr. Beast's world, he's saying that that no doesn't mean no, which is weird, and this is in the company handbook. So he admits that Mr. Beast faked some of his stunts. Then he says him and this black man that also worked for Mr. Beast, they felt like, they needed more money. The black man had a child and everything. And so he decided to ask the black man, let's go talk to Mr. Beast together. Let's demand more money for what we're doing. We're getting paid the bare minimum. We should get paid more. And so when he went in there, and the black man didn't want to go in. The black man was complacent. He said, well, hey, I know I have a child, but I like working here. It gives me some type of clout, so I'm cool. Well, Jake drags him in there, and Mr. Beast ends up firing both of them. So I'm going to play you guys clips from Dog Pack's video. I have some timestamps. So we're just going to listen to some of the stuff that Jake is saying. Make sure I have my timestamps because it's a long video, but I think I gave like the rough synopsis. So let's go ahead and watch this here. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, this is Jake. Not Jake from State Farm, but Jake from Mr. Beast. So let's listen. I'm going to mute my mic.
In the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the writer's room, and that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube, and I didn't even bring up residuals, because, oh my God, if I got residuals for every video I worked on, boy, howdy, I could retire. But the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid. And I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child. We're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy. Why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up. And one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the V stuff shook out was... I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because when you grow up with, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, if that's I trust you. He stood with me. He went in that meeting with me. And I said my piece, and he backed me up. And I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it. Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? I don't get to deal with the how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day, and I get to go home and you're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said, he just wanted to be in the room, And I really regret that. But, me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends. Is he doing good? Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy.
Okay, let me address that real quick. Because I noticed a lot of, I've seen, some white male YouTubers comment on this part. Excuse me, I'm still kind of under the weather. And they're saying, well, why did he bring up race? Does it matter if the guy was Mexican? If he was white, would you be crying? Why are you bringing up race? But I think he brought up race to make a point. Now, from what I've been hearing as of late, they're saying that MrBeast has said a lot of racist things in his past. He's used the N-word, along with the Ava Chris Tyson man said the same thing. And so what he's saying is that basically this black man who's older than him, he's a 20-something-year-old white guy. The black guy is older, and he also has a son, and he's getting paid less money even though they're doing the same job. And I get it that when you're a white man, you're coming from and not all white men, right? But the average white man is coming from a position of power and a position of, where you're not this is not something you have to ever think about. But pay disparity is very real, especially to people of color. And that is what he is talking about. It's not like, because that's what I keep seeing, like these white guys online saying, well, why did he bring up race? Who cares if he's black? Why are you bringing up race? You're trying to make it a race issue. It's not about race. It is. They are doing the same job. The black man is older than him, meaning that he probably has more experience than this 20-something-year-old white man. And he's getting paid the same shit pay. Okay? And the black man was so happy just to be in that position where he can say he's working for MrBeast. It's probably the coolest thing he's ever done. So he doesn't even want to rock the boat. And a lot of us are like that, especially people of color, especially black people. A lot of times at our jobs, we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to ask for what we know, that we're worth. Because it's like, dang, if I ask for what I'm worth, then they might, get mad. I might get fired. Like, we have a mentality that we should just be grateful to be there. Remember Prince, the great Prince from Minneapolis. He spoke on this when he gave that speech at the award show. I remember Russell Simmons was in the audience with his arms crossed, looking all angry, when he was like, you black people, we're a blessed people. Quit being grateful to just sit at their table. Prince said this. You should own your masters. You should get all of your publishing. So I respect this young white man for basically calling that out. He's not trying to make this a race-baiting issue, but this is real things that black people go through, where we can go for the same job and we will be paid less than our white counterparts. Or even being a woman and getting paid less than a man, but you're doing the same job. That is very real. But see, a lot of these guys are coming from a place of privilege, so they're not even open to this concept. They're just knocking him for bringing that up. But that is why he's bringing that up, and I can respect him for saying that. I respect him for bringing that up. And then the fact that he's breaking down crying says a lot. He felt bad that he got that black man fired from his job because the black man didn't even want to stand up for himself. And he only felt comfortable standing up for himself once he had the white ally to help, try to get more pay. And what did MrBeast do? He fired both of them. So they both got fired. And he said the black man was devastated because a lot of times, again, we're taught that we should just be grateful. Just be grateful to be here. No, pay me my worth. So I respect that. So that's what he was saying. I hope you guys get that. It's not him just trying to race bait. That happens in everyday life. So let me keep going here. Let me find the next timestamp. Okay, so now we're going to move down to about 22 minutes here.
He was my boss, and that wasn't cool. And so now, I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell." And he goes, "Well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits." Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm thinking, like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video? And so the thing that made me want to, I got to get out. I can't do another day in here. Jimmy comes in and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, why is he sleeping? I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, ask me why I have 2 briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases?
Okay, real quick, let me explain for people who are confused. So basically, after he was fired, he never, said anything. He just kind of moved on. Mr. Beast, reached out to him like maybe 2-3 years later and was like, oh, well, you were quiet. You didn't blast me. So I want to give you an opportunity to come back and do a video for the company. But it's going to be a test video. May or may not appear on YouTube, but we need somebody to do this test run. And so, he's a broke, struggling comedian. So he was willing to do it, but he didn't know what all it entailed. And this entailed him like being locked in a room with an ice cream machine, a hot tub, and they kept the lights on day and night. And he's supposed to live in that condition for 100 days. I'm like, what in the suicide? What was that show that was on Netflix? Like, what is going on here? It doesn't make any sense. And so he agrees to it because he needs the money. And Mr. Beast said that he was going to pay him like $300,000 if he would do this. And he's going to be like the test dummy before Mr. Beast can basically roll this out to the public. So that's what he's talking about. He's been sitting here. Yeah, something like Squid Games. I said Suicide Game. Child, I'm thinking about Suicide Squad. Squid Games, thank you. Yeah, like something like Jigsaw. Thank you, Cherry Bomb. It's just really weird and sadistic. So this man has been literally locked in this room. He said within a few days, the ice cream machine stopped working. Everything smelled really funky and nasty. The hot tub stopped working. It was just cold. And then it was funky because it wasn't filtered. So he's sitting in this funky room with a hot tub. Like, the room is painted. It looks cool. The aesthetic is cool. But living in this room for like days on end was a horrible experience. And then on top of that, just to like fuck with him more, they never turned the lights off. And he was not, allowed any clocks. He never knew if it was daytime or nighttime. He didn't know what day it was. This is like torture. This is low-key torture. Then Mr. Beast comes in and tells him that he wants him to do a Rubik's Cube. And he doesn't really know how to do a Rubik's Cube. Well, if you can't do that, then you need to run a mile. And he makes him run a mile on the treadmill. And I think he said it took him like several hours. He ended up getting blisters on his feet. Mr. Beast is really sadistic. So we're going to go ahead and finish listening. I want to kind of give y'all a backstory.
And he goes, oh, because this one's for today, and this one's for the challenge. And I go, what's the challenge today? He goes, you're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic. I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. I was like, on camera, I don't want to do it. He goes, just do it for the thing, my kid. Like there was an element of, Jake will do what we want because he's in house. That's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run. Let alone a marathon. Let alone have training for it. So I was in a sunlightless,
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, And if I refuse, it's just, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m.
I got off the treadmill.
Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get psych in, and I talk to the psych about how I'm not well. And like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, you got to pull him out. Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work, and they would tell me, they'd be like, yeah, everyone knows you over there. Everybody loves you. They go, oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him. Like I'm a ghost. And I asked them, I said, how much longer are you guys going to keep me in here? And the guy goes, realistically, like at least 7 more days? No. And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And it's like they brought in all my friends, to make it. They brought in all the people I liked, and Jimmy. Then everybody was around me, making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. Yeah. But Jimmy had his he was sitting in the chair, turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God, everyone was looking at me, and he was like Lex Luthor over there. And he turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. When you're watching a video and he's like, oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry. And he touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just. I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Your mental health's the most important thing. I just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is. I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before I got out. I did not get the $300K. What I got, he goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take. You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy fest.
Okay, so I think we've heard enough. The man is obviously suffering from PTSD. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's grown. He chose to do it. He chose to do it for money. And this is what I'm going to say about that. Granted, he's grown, right? He chose to put himself, quote unquote, in this situation, but he did not know the situation was going to be that sadistic. That's not what he told when he first signed up for it. And instead of judging somebody doing something for some money, how about we judge our current financial system and how often the lowest of the low are the ones who get blessed with the money. Like I said on this channel 1,000,000 times, you don't get into that billionaire space being a good person. That's why I've never liked Vince McMahon and so many others, because they've had to step on people, use people, manipulate people, and do all types of fucked up shit to get to their position. And instead of judging the fact that he did that for some money, be grateful that you haven't been put in a position to where you've had to do something unbecoming, something degrading, something that you know deep down in your heart that you shouldn't do, but because you're in such a horrible situation and your back is against the wall, that you're willing to do it. that is a horrible position to be in life. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the more I'm learning about Mr. Beast, it seems like that's what he does. That's his control over people. The fact that he has this money dangling over people's heads. Right now, the economy is bad. A lot of people are struggling. Rent is high. Interest rate is high. So a lot of people possibly may be willing to do some strange things for some change. And for him, it wasn't something sexual. This was a challenge. But he never expected to go into this challenge and you're being told that they won't turn off the lights. How come all these other challenges, they can Photoshop, they can use CGI, but when it comes to like making sure your so-called ex-employee / friend is okay, that has to be real. But everything else is okay to be faked. So I think this is like really sickening and says a lot about Mr. Beast. And like I've always said, to me, like, okay, cool, you're giving things away, you're doing charity, but is it really charity when you have to announce everything? When you're having to film everything and post it on social media, it's not about the homeless person that you're giving money to. It's not about the young kid who needs a new bike. You're doing it for yourself. Because real charity whispers. You write checks, you go out, you volunteer. You don't need a whole film crew. And I don't need to put it on social media to monetize it. You know, so to me, it doesn't make sense. And I guess what has me even more confused is I'm assuming Mr. Beast is extremely wealthy, right? He has way more money than me and what most people make on average on YouTube. He's one of the biggest YouTubers. So why does he even have to do all of this? It doesn't make any sense. And from what I've heard, his backstory, he came from a single parent home. You know, he didn't come from like a wealthy background. So you worked yourself up, or maybe he was propositioned and put there by Hollywood. Who knows? Either way, he worked from being in his room gaming to now being one of the biggest influencers on the planet. You're making money hand over fist. So why not just be fair? It doesn't make any sense. If you have a team of people and they're putting in just as much work and you guys are making money hand over fist, why not pay them a little bit extra? If they're doing the right thing, they're showing up every day, they're doing their job, are they supposed to get 50% of what you make? Absolutely not. But it should be something livable. He was saying they weren't even getting livable wages. And this man is damn near a billionaire. I go to Walmart, I see his chocolate and his cookies in Walmart. Matter of fact, today, yes, at the age of 26, thank you, at 26 years old, today he just dropped the kids line. I just seen that article. This is today. He got all these allegations brewing, and he just dropped a new kids line. Mr. Beast releases toy line amid disturbing allegations. Now, let me also get to the disturbing allegation that's also being alleged. So on top of him abusing this young man and doing the whole torture thing to him, and you know, it took him like, I think he said months for his feet to heal because he was running in that treadmill for 10 hours. He had blisters. His mental health is clearly affected. The fact that even him recalling all of this stuff is making him break down crying. You know, what grown man is just going to sit there and just break down crying if it wasn't some traumatic stuff that he went through? And also understand, excuse me, that what's going on in this situation with Mr. Beast is also the stuff that goes on in Hollywood. And I don't understand how YouTube, which was meant for the regular everyday man and woman like myself and so many other people to come, you know, do vlogs, share a bit of ourselves with our audience and stuff like that, how now YouTube has turned so corporate. And we're seeing some of these huge corporate YouTube channels has some of the biggest issues. So to me, this is no different than what's going on in Hollywood when you have a struggling actor. They sold everything in their small Midwestern town. They want to make it in Hollywood. You know, they're going on auditions. They're giving their best shot. And then some asshole producer invites them to, you know, a hotel room at 2:00 in the morning and propositions them. And it's easy to say, well, why did you go? There's nothing open at 2 a.m. besides legs. But sometimes people are in such desperate positions that maybe they will sleep with somebody because that's going to be the only way they can eat for the next week because their money has ran out. So to me, the problem is not so much even the casting couch, because the casting couch, right, is a problem for those who are saying that. But the people who are playing puppet master on the casting couch, the people who are in positions of money, power, and influence, and they're using that position to exploit other people that they deem who are below them and beneath them, and the fact that they're willing to do anything to get a shot. And I think this is really sick that Mr. Beast has this same mentality, especially being that, you know, he himself came from not too much, from humble beginnings in North Carolina. But this is where they say that, you know, our money's not good money, and eventually, you know, with a lot of money, it can corrupt people. Because there shouldn't be such a huge change in you just because you have money. So I just think that it's really disturbing. But now the second disturbing thing that he also alleged is that there are pedophiles working at Mr. Beast. And one of the guys that they called a pedophile, his name is Delaware. And they said they joked about it because he wasn't allowed to go back to Delaware or something like that. And if you guys remember Chris Tyson, the other weird alleged pedo, he had wrote this a few weeks ago when he got into it with Jake Franklin. So Jake Franklin used to be another former Mr. Beast employee. That's who I was mixing him up with. But Jake is one who came out and said that Mr. Beast knew, that Jimmy knew about all the stuff that was going on with Ava Chris Tyson. So then remember, Ava Chris Tyson came back and he said the following. Let me share my tab here. He took to Twitter. So Ava says, never ask Jake how he protected his kid or his family from his bro-in-law. Then Andrea says, low blow, thought we weren't talking about kids. Then Ava Chris Tyson says, who you keep in your company describes a lot about you. And then he goes on to show this conviction record. Well, now it's come out that the guy Delaware is related to Jake, the guy that was blasting Mr. Beast a few months ago. But what Ava doesn't understand is that he's also low-key throwing his so-called BFF, Mr. Beast, under the bus. Because he says who you keep in your company describes a lot about you. So if you're trying to clock Jake's tea about who he's related to, what does that say about your best friend, Mr. Beast? I'm just saying. So now we fast forward to today. These were old tweets from Jake. They're calling my brother-in-law / manager Delaware because that's his name. So now we fast forward to today. Let me pull up today's tweets. So people started dragging him. And this is what Jake wrote today. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. Yes, he's a registered sex offender. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. His nickname is in Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was and was actually the reason I got hired at Mr. Beast. Before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew, but again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017, 2018. Delaware was also let go from the company before I was. Delaware was supposed to be a behind the scenes manager, but in a couple videos he was asked to partake because we needed people and were reluctant, especially in the straitjacket video because of his charges. That's why he wore the mask. Delaware's charges are set to be dropped this fall. Delaware has been nothing but a good person, an amazing husband to my sister, and the best father to my 2 nieces that I could ever ask for. They want no parts in this and want to just live their lives away from the limelight. I understand why anyone would be upset and frustrated over these allegations. I do not blame them. Hurting kids in any way is completely unacceptable. But in the case of Delaware, I firmly believe he did nothing wrong and look forward to the day the charges are dropped. Thank you. So people are dragging Jake, and they were saying, so you're cool with pedophiles as long as you're in the family? Interesting. Jake comes back. He says, justice has been served long before I knew him. Next. Somebody else says, this cut your 15 minutes back down to 7. Come on. Talking reckless, knowing that you got a pedophile as a brother, and your only relevance is for MrBeast. Bro thought canceling Daddy would give him more stake in the will, but then got his own serving a cancellation. And then somebody re-edited his tweet, the one that he wrote that Jimmy knew, and they wrote, I knew. The internet is shady. So they wrote, I knew. So they just been dragging him. This was the original one. Jimmy knew. So they've altered it to I knew. So the silence is deafening. So he was trying to call out Ava Chris Tyson, only to find out that his own brother-in-law. This is a bunch of messy white people teach out. But we gonna spill it. The whole thing is just messy as hell. They're just all involved in a bunch of mess at this point. And I think it's sad. And so now what's come out with the MrBeast thing, Keemstar posted this, that they're now about to have a new mandatory, he sent out a mandatory confidential email to his employees, and somebody leaked it to Keemstar on Drama Alert. What you talking about, Willis? Okay, so I'm going to try and it's kind of small. Let me try and zoom in. So they're saying, Dear MrBeast team, dear Team Beast, I wanted to update you all on the recent concerns that have been online and in the press. As I mentioned in a tweet a couple weeks ago, we have hired Quinn Emanuel, a top-tier law firm, to do a full investigation on the Ava Tyson allegations. We also asked him to expand the scope to include a full assessment of our internal culture and to investigate allegations of inappropriate behavior by people in the company. While the process is not complete, I have enough preliminary information at this point. I am announcing several changes today. As your leader, I take responsibility and I'm committed to continue to improve and evolve my leadership style. While I have mostly been focused on creating content, launching Feastables, and building our community and leading our philanthropic efforts, I recognize that I also need to create a culture that makes our employees feel safe and allows them to do their best work. Therefore, along with Jeff Hausenbold, our new president and COO, we'll be hiring a new chief human resource officer, chief financial officer, and a general counsel, along with other roles to add the capacity and competence to foster a better internal culture as we continue to grow. So that's what he's planning on doing. He's planning on hiring all these new people. But my thing is, when he turned into an LLC, and again, this man is making money hand over fist. Every video he drops, he gets, 200, 300, 400 plus views. You know, we're talking about somebody who drops a video and he gets millions of views per video. Why didn't he have all this stuff in place before? Once he decided to go more mainstream and, more commercial, all of this stuff already should have been in place. But it wasn't, because he also, allegedly played around in the same manner. Attitude reflects leadership. So if this is the leadership, and this was what's going on with MrBeast's knowledge, the employees are just doing what MrBeast is doing. he is setting the tone at the place. Now he's trying to clean it up because now you have all these former employees coming out against him. You have people who are on that Amazon show who were hurt. And another thing I found very weird with the Amazon show, I heard that, I don't know if there were minors on there, but somebody put up a tweet where people were asking, could minors apply to be on there? And I think I ran across a video that said YouTubers versus minors. I don't know if that was clickbait or if that was an actual MrBeast video because I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I've heard that minors have been involved in a lot of his games. And so in the Amazon one, I don't know if everybody was of age, if there were some minors, because they said it was different ages, young and old. But we're being told that their panties, well, underwear, not just panties, people's underwear were taken from them. Now, what's that about? And people were forced to wear the same dirty underwear for like upwards of 2-3 days. There was some girl who said that I guess she was, she had started, I think, her period, and she was just stuck in the same panties for several days. This is all on the internet. So now I'm thinking to myself, what kind of sadistic shit is that you're taking people's underwear from them? That you want people to feel dirty and uncomfortable because they're not allowed to shower. And even if they shower, are they going to be wearing the same thing? I don't get that at all. So if there are young people on this game, and y'all can tell me because I don't know, but if there were young people on this Amazon game or other games, because the Amazon people are saying that their underwear were taken from them, are underwear being taken from these children as well? And to me, that's even more disturbing. If they're taking people's underwear, what are they doing with it? Once they take people's, like, what are they putting in a pile and dancing around? Like, what are y'all doing with people's underwear? Where they're forced to just wear the same thing. It sounds weird. This whole thing is just weird to me, the more stuff that comes out. And then now you have some man on the team. He's not on the team now, but at one point, his name was Delaware. And I'm not saying that people don't change, things don't happen. I'm not saying that people don't have a chance to work, right? Because once you paid your debt to society, you got to take care of yourself. I'm not taking care of no fucking grown adult. Got to get out there and get a job regardless of what's on your background, right? But it's a difference between him stocking shelves at Walmart after hours than him working on a kids show. And that's the part that's disturbing. This is the second alleged pedo attached to MrBeast. First, it was his best friend having inappropriate conversations with 11, 12, 13-year-olds on the Discord server. And now we're talking about this dude named Delaware. These are people whose content is primarily for children. So at what point were you going to get all these measures in place? Why does it take people coming out for you to now want to hire an HR person and a COO and all this stuff? But the question still stands. Why were people draws being taken from them 4 days? Where you had young women bleeding on themselves 4 days. You know how humiliating that is? Like, that's insane. So I don't understand this. It sounds like some weird ass blood magic ritual. His name is MrBeast. I already told y'all the mark of the beast. All this shit is weird to me. Because when I saw one of the pictures for one of the games, I saw people of all ages. Young and old. Now, I don't know if they were like young, like, children, like 9 and 10, but, like short, small. They didn't look like they had, they didn't look like teenagers. It looked like it was just a wide range of ages. So I don't understand why people's underwear are being taken from them. Yes, there's a lady, she's talking about it. If y'all go and y'all look up like the stories about the people who played on the Amazon show that MrBeast was running, they said when they got there, their underwear was taken from them and their medication. So you had people who needed medication that weren't able to get their medicine for several days. People who had medicine that they had to take with food, and they were told that there was no food for them to eat. So at this point, you're just being sadistic. Because this is a man who's worth millions. He gets millions of dollars off of his views. So why is there not a crafty table for everybody participating to eat? And this is another issue that I'm seeing. is that it seems like a lot of things that you would see in Hollywood that would not be allowed, because even on set, there's strict regulations on set. People have to be able to take breaks. There's food there, lunch breaks, things like that. But when you have something that's based on the internet, and he's in North Carolina, he's able to skate around a lot of rules. He doesn't have to pay anybody's SAG rates. They said he doesn't even like to hire people SAG. He doesn't even like to hire union people. Most of the people who work for him are non-union. So I think he knows what he's doing. And I feel like he's skirting a lot of corners and safety measures because he knows he can get away with it. If you're working on a production, right? Let's say I work in Hollywood and I'm putting together a production and I want to go film at a store. Like I want to do a shot at Target. I have to put in a request. I have to have permission to film. I can't just do it renegade style. But us as just regular people, we can go into Walmart and dance and do all types of food. We've all seen the fuck videos. The comedians and the people doing skits in the middle of Walmart. They're able to get away with that because they're just regular civilians. But if this is a Hollywood production or a studio production, you have to have permission. You can't just show it with your camera equipment and start filming. But per Mr. Beast's employee guidelines, he's telling his employees, we're not going to take no for an answer. So meaning that he thinks he's above what the protocol is for somebody who has such a big production. And with production, anywhere you shoot, there are regulations. So let's say they build a set, like when I was on Iggy's music video, they built her whole set. This was a few years ago, and it was really dope to watch them build. They built like a jail cell. They built the salon. Everything was built from scratch. And I remember after we got done shooting the music video, me and her were talking and stuff. We were seeing all the guys taking stuff down. They're not allowed to leave that area until everything is taken down and it looks the way that you got it. And I remember driving by that same area where we shot the music video, literally the next day, because I had to go by there to go to another audition. You wouldn't have even known that we shot a music video there. You would not have known. But there's people coming out saying that Mr. Beast, he'll go and shoot at a particular area or on the lake. They won't clean up. They'll just take their stuff, you know, the expensive stuff, the camera equipment, and leave. But there'll be trash there, his explosions, and all that stuff. Because there's nobody to hold them accountable. He's not part of any union. You can't call SAG on him. So he's doing a lot of sneak shit to skate regulations. That's not fair. That if he was in Hollywood, he'd be clocked and fined for. But he gets to do it under the guise of, I'm a YouTuber. Well, not really. You're not the average YouTuber. You're making videos with explosions and CGI. You can't compare what you do on YouTube compared to the average YouTuber that's just sitting in their home talking. You, sir, are a corporation, and you need to start behaving as such. So, I don't know. The whole thing is just really unnerving. Somebody said it's giving Diddy vibes. Yeah, there's something going on there at that camp. And like I said, a grown man is not going to come out and break down crying like that unless like he's really thinking about like the trauma he went through. So it's a shame. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're deleting comments. The algorithm is suppressing people's videos who are calling out Mr. Beast. You know, you got to, go searching for the videos. A lot of videos are getting suppressed. So they're doing things to protect their golden boy. Like always. It's not a surprise at all. So, yeah, it's really disturbing. But y'all, like I said, watch that full video. Dogpack 404. He's on his second video. So watch the full video if you guys want the full context. But I hope I broke it down enough for y'all. So let's go ahead. I want to get to the last story, then I got to get out of here. Let me read a few of these super chats here. Excuse me, I keep coughing. Still under the weather. Let's see here. Thea W says, happy belated birthday, T. Hashtag playback gang. Hey, my Baltimore and DMV T sippers. I love them Baltimore accents. They be like, you that girl from YouTube. I'll be watching you on YouTube. I can always tell when I'm talking to people from Baltimore. I love them accents. It's so funny and cute. Lady K875 says, hi, sweet T. Happy belated birthday, fellow Leo. I feel like Mr. Beast punished this young man for leaving the first time without begging. Very sadistic. That is a good point. I didn't even look at it like that. It's almost like, oh, so now you want to come crawling back? Oh, okay, we got something for you. That's a really good point, because the way he was treated is very, very disturbing. Extremely. So thank you for the super chat, sis. Angel sent 10 says, the situation with Mr. Beast and his former employee reminds me of the Nasubi situation. Hulu has a documentary called The Contestant that delves more into the exploitation that he went through on that show. Oh, I haven't heard about the Nasubi. I don't know who that is. I'm going to have to look into that. I love my documentaries. I'm going to have to check that out, The Contestant. Okay, thank you so much for the super chat, love. Cameron C sent $49.99 and says, hey, Auntie, that submarine disaster is the main plot to a video game, Iron Lung, in 2022. Just to let you know, love you. Wow. I didn't know that. So once again, predictive programming. I never knew that. Wow. Well, we're going to definitely go ahead and talk about the submersible before I leave out of here. Miss K sent $9.99 says, ow, I forgot. Happy belated birthday. Seems like us Aries and Leos get along very good. Sending you love, boo. Thank you so much. Yeah, I do. I get along with Aries. I know a few cool Aries, but you know, it's Leos and Libras for life, honey. I love my Libras. I got a lot of good Libras around me. But yeah, Aries are cool. The Aries are cool. So let me see here. Let's go ahead and talk about the submersible here before I go. So this is crazy. If you guys remember the billionaire, they decided to go see the Titanic. It was like a lot of billionaires. They jumped into this submersible and they were missing for a few days, and the news was focused on these rich people trying to find them. And unfortunately, there was a teenager on there too. And they said the teenager didn't want to go there. He wanted to stay above water. The father was like, oh, this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. We're going to go together. And they ended up passing. Well, now the family members of some of those people on board the submersible, they want to sue OceanGate, who ran the whole thing. They're being sued now for over $50 million. So let's go ahead and watch this video here. It's very interesting. Let me share my screen real quick here.
The family of one of the explorers killed in the Titan submersible is suing the American operators OceanGate for wrongful death. Paul-Henri Nargeolet was one of 5 people on the sub when it imploded last year 700 kilometers off Newfoundland while diving to the wreckage of the Titanic. No one survived. The suit is asking for $50 million in damages, accusing the company of gross negligence. Attorneys for Nargeolet's family say OceanGate failed to disclose key facts about the vessel and its durability. CBC's Ashley Burke is following this story from Washington for us. Ashley, what more do we know about this lawsuit?
This lawsuit, as you mentioned, is seeking millions of dollars. The statement of claim was filed in a Washington court by the family of Paul-Henri Nargeolet. Now, he was a French deep-sea explorer known as Mr. Titanic, who made history for visiting famous wreck sites more than anyone else in the world. And on his last ascent, he was one of the 5 people killed when the Titan submersible imploded more than 12,000 feet underwater. This lawsuit claims the submersible had a troubled history, and OceanGate failed to disclose key details about the vessel and its durability. The suit also claims that Titan dropped weights around 90 minutes into the dive, suggesting the crew tried to abort the mission. Lawyers for this family claim that the crew experienced terror and mental anguish because they knew that they thought they knew they were going to die. Now that's in contrast to what one of Narjolet's Canadian friends and mentee recently told CBC News. He's a Titanic expedition specialist who visited the site himself and spoke to CBC on the anniversary.
They wouldn't know it imploded. It's not like you're going to get a warning or, different sounds, or you're getting a leak when you're at that depth. It literally implodes at what I'm told at 2,200 miles per second. It just still sits with me now that it could have been avoided if they had done it safely and took heed to the warnings that they were given. That company was told many times, it was documented that what they were doing was unsafe and they need to change the plan.
OceanGate suspended its operations after the incident and has not yet responded to CBC's request for a comment or filed a statement of defense.
Now, Ashley, we're also learning more about Canada's role in all of this. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Canada was deeply involved in this search because the submersible launched from a Canadian flag vessel, the Polar Prince, and it had left the port in St. John's. Now, through an access to information request, CBC News obtained more than 600 pages of internal documents that detail what unfolded hour by hour behind the scenes. It included updates flagging sensitive information that two family members were on board the Polar Prince when Canada was helping the U.S. search for their loved ones. Internal updates also include telling government officials about any defects and issues that were being reported live about the submersible. Now, the Canadian government deployed all sorts of military and Coast Guard personnel and equipment to help, including Navy ships and icebreakers, a plane and helicopter, plus a hyperbolic chamber and technicians for any dive operations, and sonar equipment that could be used to search at significant water depths. The documents show that Canada's maritime patrol aircraft sent out noisemakers and heard two bangs, that at the time they wrote that they were highly confident it was man-made by an object striking the hull. Now, all of these internal updates and more were constant, and some of them went all the way up to Jody Thomas, who was the Prime Minister's security advisor at the time.
Now, Ashley, when you're mentioning everything that was involved in this search and rescue mission, there's been a question all along about how much this cost Canada. What did you learn?
Well, it cost Canada millions in operational costs. The Department of National Defense told...
Okay, next. Let me come back on the screen. Y'all ain't got no case. Next. Don't let me be the judge on the case. I feel bad, right? Because we don't want people to die. It is sad. But again, everybody signed the waiver. So what are y'all knew there was a risk. I'm like, next. Like, y'all try to make it deeper than what it needs to be. Ain't no case. I'm tossing the case out. Because again, there was a long waiver. Because I watched this story. There was a bunch of documentaries that came out about this. And that was one of the things. And people knew that when they signed that waiver, there was a potential that you could die, that you could face death. Everybody knew that before taking the class. Everybody knew that before jumping on the submarine. Yes, we all love to think that we're going to go somewhere and try something and come back safe. When I went on that helicopter ride, and foolish me, I don't know why I thought, I was like, oh, I took a plane to Puerto Rico. It's going to be the same thing. Shit. It's not the same thing as flying in an airplane. But again, it's something I wanted to do. I'd never done it before. It's such a sweet, it was a sweet birthday present. And so once I got in there and I'm like, this, all this glass in space. Oh, wow. Oh, and we're going to be flying over the wall. I had to sign a waiver. I had to sign a long waiver. In the event you crash in this helicopter ride, ain't nothing you can do. We can't be sued. Say bye to your boy. That's just part of it. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we all wish to come back from whatever adventure that we choose to take, to come back safely. But you know that when you're taking part. Just like when I got in that damn kayak and went into the bay. 13 feet water. I'm somebody I don't swim past 3 feet. I don't like water going past my calves. And I was in a kayak in the middle of a bay with 13 feet of water. Imagine if it would have tipped over. Well, I had on a life jacket, thank goodness. But, you know, just things can happen. There's no lawsuit. So I'm sorry. And while then they're trying to sue for $50 million. I thought all y'all were billionaires. Don't billionaires have life insurance and, you know, wills and, you know, trust? Where's all that money? If you have enough money to pay, what was the ticket price? Like $9 million or something, whatever. It was some outrageous price just to get in the submersible, whatever is submersible. If you have that type of money to blow, y'all should be good. What y'all need a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit for? Y'all should be fine. Y'all should have had all types of insurance and everything else. I'm just saying. See, I don't need to be a judge. Little Piggy said, you're brave, T. I am. Because I'm telling you, when he took us over that water, whoo, and there was nothing between me but glass and the water, then he had the nerve. Baby, when he took that helicopter, was like, oh, I want to show you something really close. I was like, oh my God. He like dipped and then turned it back. I'm like, what did I get myself into? But thank God I'm here to do a live stream to talk to you good people. But again, you know, that's just the chance that you take. You know, anything could have happened while we were up there. Excuse me. Look what happened to Kobe Bryant. And he's in helicopters all the time. He thought him and his, you know, daughter and everybody was going to make it to the game and come back home safely. And unfortunately, they ended up passing. So that's just sometimes the risk that you take in life. It's sad. It's unfortunate. But I'm sorry. They don't have no case. Look, this guitar about to turn into a gavel. Next case. Y'all ain't got no case. Get the fuck out of here. Next. No. Like, OceanGate literally lost their whole team of scientists who ran and put the submersible together. There's no one they can sue. They got to just go back to the drawing board. So it ain't no lawsuit. Y'all just gonna have to take this L. I'm sorry. Rest in peace to everybody, but y'all just gonna have to take this L. You signed the waiver. That's just what it is. If something would have happened to me in that helicopter, my family would not have been able to sue. Let's keep it real. They were like, well, you know, Lovelyti, you know she signed that waiver. Y'all ain't got no case. Y'all go ahead and enjoy the life insurance. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So I don't agree with the lawsuit. Now, I am here. I heard about the plane crash. Somebody said make T a tiny gavel. Somebody give me a tiny gavel, child. Send it to my P.O. box. Because I don't want to break my violin, hoodie. I love this little violin. That was one of the best little presents. But yeah, I'm going to give me a little tiny gavel. Doot, doot, doot. But yeah, I heard about the plane crash. I seen it trending on Twitter. I think it was in Brazil. Now, that's something different. That's unexpected. That's sad. Because you expect to get to where you're going and come back. That's different. So they might have a lawsuit. Oh, they found a video before it crashed. Oh, man. No survivors. See, last time I heard a few hours ago that, oh, my God, look at the crash. Oh. Let's watch this video real quick. I think, hopefully it's not in Spanish. Let me click on this real quick. Because I heard about the crash, but they were saying they were looking for people at the time. Now they're saying everybody died. Now that's different. They might have a lawsuit, but them billionaires, I don't know. Y'all ain't got no case in my eyes. But this is sad because this is regular people buying a plane ticket trying to get to Brazil. Oh, man.
We are learning that a small passenger plane has crashed in a residential area. This is outside of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brazil's president just announced on X that all 62 people on board are dead. And we do have new video. I want to warn you, though, this video that we just have in is very disturbing.
When we talk about that type of spin, how we get into those spins is unknown at this point, how the aircraft got into that predicament or not. But what we refer that to as a power on stall, meaning it didn't have engines lost and then it stalled and fell to the ground. This is a power on stall in which they're trying to attempt to keep moving forward and get airflow over the wings enough where they can recover from this spin that they're in. And that's sometimes referred to as a flat spin as well. So as low as it was, and I think they were just on approach to land, as low as it was, it takes quite a bit of altitude to recover from that, because you have to get the nose down and get the aircraft to get some airflow over the wings so that you can recover and pull out of those flat spins. And there just wasn't enough airspace for that to be accomplished, and tragically ended the way that it did.
Mary, the most disturbing video that we are seeing, and quite frankly, I think a lot of us, when we first saw it, we were hoping it wasn't real, is of the plane falling out of the sky. I do want to have you look at it and also listen to it so that you can tell us what you see in it and also what you're hearing. This is, again, disturbing video. Let's watch. How are you analyzing that, Mary?
Well, there are so many clues in that video, and just like you, when I first saw it, I was questioning whether this was accurate or not. But sadly, I've worked other crashes where this has happened. This is clearly a stall, what's called an aerodynamic stall. There's not enough airspeed and air flowing over the wings to keep the plane in the sky. At this point where we see it in the video where the plane is falling, the pilots would have had no ability to control that plane, so they could not have directed it away from houses or populated areas. When you're at that point in the fall, you have lost all control and controllability and surfaces of the aircraft. And we also heard, you're very good to note, to listen, because we also know that the engines are still running. So the plane did not stall, did not lose its airspeed because it lost its engines. We have one more clue, and this is hugely important. Some of the radar tracings indicate.
Okay, y'all. So let me come back on the screen. That is really sad. Because like I said, I heard about it earlier, but I didn't know like all the extent of where it was. But rest in peace to all 62 people. And also the people, because it hit somebody's home. Were the people whose house was hit, are they okay? Were they home? Were they at work? Like, that whole neighborhood has to be devastated. Because I'm sure, like, just the debris and the gas and the flames and everything is probably going to be affecting several houses, if not the whole neighborhood. So, it just goes to show you, y'all, life is short. Life is short. Somebody said, was that a Boeing? I'm not sure. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Boeing. Because wasn't it like everybody was calling it a conspiracy? I forgot the man's name. Y'all can write if y'all remember. Remember, he came out, he was blasting Boeing. And he was saying that Boeing were not fixing their airplane parts properly. And then that man ended up dead like a few months ago. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? I can't think of his name, but he was blasting Boeing for like a whole year. And then all of a sudden, he died. It was a small passenger plane. Okay, Sonic remembers. Do y'all remember his name? I can't think of, he was an ex-pilot or something. Yeah, I got to look up that story. Maybe I'll talk about it. Yeah, I didn't think that was a Boeing. That plane didn't look that big. But yeah, it was a crazy story. He had been blasting them, saying that they weren't really fixing like issues with the planes. They were using old parts and not doing what they needed to do to save money. They were cutting corners. So he was blasting and saying, well, I don't want to drive for them because these planes are not safe. And then he ended up dead. He was silenced. His name was not DEI hire. Y'all are some assholes. His name was DEI hire. Was it Josh? Josh Barnett? Somebody else wrote Josh Dean. It was Josh Barnett. Let me Google. Hold on. Let me Google real quick. Oh, yeah, it was. As soon as I put in his name, Josh Barnett Bowen. This is him. Y'all got to like look up this story. It's very interesting. But that's him, Josh Barnett. He was a whistleblower. They found him dead. This was in March. Yep, just a few months ago. I knew about it. I just never did a video on it. Because some of y'all don't be caring for like certain videos. So I just never did a video. But now that we're talking about plane crashes, y'all definitely look into that story of Josh Barnett. Very scary. Especially, you know, all of a sudden he just died after he was blasting Boeing. So let me read these last few super chats. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I've been out here for 2 hours. But thank you guys here. Let's see. Desiree sent a $4.99 sticker. Thank you, Desiree. Joshua Young sent $19.99. Says YouTube is playing and won't send my super chat. Love you, T. I got it, Josh. I love you, too. Thank you so much for the love and support. Appreciate you. Honeymoon sent $9.99. Says, these white people are crazy. Kids wearing clothes with the mark of the beast. Very suspicious. Love you, T. Looking good. Shout out to all the Pisces tea sippers. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, love. I agree. He's selling toys now, cookies, snacks, all types of stuff. I don't know. The whole beast thing, that's just never sat well with me, especially him having all that access to children, you know. Just like R. Kelly being the Pied Piper. You know, that's like, you know, in children's fairy tales. The Pied Piper came and led all the town's children away. That's the same vibe I get. So thank you so much, love. J Jersey Girl Sim 5 said, I just looked at the sub and it was hell no for me. You spending all that money, you don't have a window seat. Leo season, Leo gang. Thank you so much, J Jersey Girl. Appreciate you. And that's the thing I didn't understand about the whole submersible thing. Is that even when they went down there, it was pitch black. I think there might have been because they said it's so far down, you're not really even able to see anything. There might be things that you're watching on camera. But so are you down there listening to the ghost of the Titanic? I don't know the interest. You know, I don't get it. I'm just not interested. They sunk and they went down there for a reason. I'm not trying to visit. I'm not trying to get pulled back into 1912, okay? I'm going to let the Titanic and their survivors rest in peace. I just don't understand it. It's not like you're down there taking selfies with the wreck. You know what I mean? So, it's strange. Let's see here. First, second, sent $9.99 says, happy birthday, T. Wanted to ask you in the last stream, what do you think of the global protests from Kenya to Venezuela to Nigeria to UK to Bangladesh? What do you think is going on? Thank you for the super chat. I think the global unrest is real. Oh, let me talk about that real quick because I had a lot of UK people trying to clock my tea and going off on me. And I think it was kind of mean. It was unfair because, again, I'm not from the UK. I've never been to the UK. I don't know the whole ins and outs of y'all's country, but I was trying to make my subscribers aware of what was going on in the UK, you know what I'm saying, with the riots and stuff like that. So people are getting mad because they were saying, oh, you're ignorant. Those are Roma people. They're not Muslims. I don't know what a Roma person is. No shade. I've never heard of Roma. I don't know. I think the people say they're Romani and I'm ignorant for not knowing. Bitch, I don't live in the UK. I don't have Romani people in my name. I've never heard of Romani. You know what I'm saying? No shade. I just never heard of them. So I had assumed that the people, they were brown people. So I assumed they was like Indian or, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. And people was like getting mad. And like, oh, you shouldn't report on UK news. Just stick to American news and stuff like that. Bitch, I'm going to report on whatever the fuck I feel the need to report on. Okay? So catch that tea. What you need to do is read the title. And if you see UK in it and it bothers your UK spirit, don't watch the video. Keep it pushing. Because I'm going to report on what I feel the need to report on. And I wanted people to know what was going on in the UK, especially with a lot of the racism, you know, that's being perpetrated towards people of color. Romani people included. I'm sorry I didn't know their ethnicity. I've never heard of that. Shout out to all my Romanis, I guess, that watch me that I didn't know existed until 2 days ago. But, yeah, I didn't like that. I was getting a lot of shade from, you know, the uppity UK people. But, you know what I'm saying, my girl, Karen, who's in the UK, she was keeping me abreast. She was like, no, I love the video. I'm glad you talked about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you're letting your American tea sippers know what's going on over here. You know, because then when I don't talk about international news, then people cry like, oh, you're not hitting on international news. Then when I do, then I get caught ignorant because I don't know the difference between Romani people that I've never heard of and Pakistani and Indian people. Well, forgive me. You know what I'm saying? Either way, I still said it was messed up what happened. I just didn't know their ethnicity. But as far as all the riots that are going on and the protests that are going on globally, it is letting you know. This is what I think. Venezuela, Kenya, Nigeria, UK, Bangladesh. The people who were colonized are now uprising. Isn't it funny that a lot of the whites in the UK feel like they're now the minority? You know what I'm saying? Even that white woman in the video was comparing herself to Native Americans. And all of these, foreigners are coming here and they're taking our jobs and they're doing this and that. Same thing in America that's being said about the Mexicans and the Haitians and people coming in from over the border, right? But has everybody looked at it like this? That the reason why a lot of these people are displaced and fighting back and protesting is that the colonized people are tired of the colonizers. Y'all literally went to these people's lands. Y'all took their oil, their natural resources, siphoned the fishing. They can't even fish. People who fish in the Delta in Nigeria because of all the oil spills. You've literally messed up whole communities' livelihood that they have been doing for generations. So you damn right people are trying to sneak out of horrible situations and trying to go to somewhere better. The same way the colonizers left their situations and they came and siphoned from these countries. That is what's going on. People don't want to be stuck in poverty. They want things to be more fair. So you're going to have a lot of unrest and upheaval. And I say a lot of this stuff that's coming back to play is karma for how a lot of these countries were being treated. The UK, I'm sorry, was one of the biggest colonizers. Let's keep that real. From Africa to other countries in Europe to Asia. And now you're mad because, look, even France, look at all the stuff they were doing to Niger. They were still in Niger for years. Taking all their resources. And then once Niger they did the uprising last year and they fought back, they were upset and they were mad. Y'all want to control these countries. Y'all want these countries' resources to keep y'all's country going. And then y'all got the nerve to get mad when those same people come take your resources after you've literally stifled and stripped everything from their land. So I think a lot of stuff is going on. And I think a lot of people are uprising or upset because things are not fair in this world. It's just not. Things are not fair. And people are waking up and people are seeing it. And I think the people in control, they don't want to lose control. They don't want to lose power. So they're doing what they can to try and maintain power. That is why there is becoming more and more internet censorship. Hate or love TikTok. At least real news gets through on TikTok. Yeah, there's stupid challenges and weird white girls dancing like this. But outside of all that, there's real news that gets through on there. And they don't want that. They don't want people coming together and feeding each other information and waking each other up. So, man, it's a lot going on. So I apologize to the UK people that were mad at me. I'm sorry if I didn't, report the news in the most spectacular way and I didn't have, a posh accent as I was speaking, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get the message out there and let people know what was going on to the people of color in the UK. Because people think that only racism is here in America. And now we're seeing, there's a lot of racism. It's just more covert over there. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the UK. And a lot of people are fighting back. And I also, to be fair, I understand people feeling like, they're losing their land and people are taking their jobs. I get that too, right? But they also have to understand their history and understand that these people are not coming out of nowhere and understand how they got into the position of power. I get the fear. Everybody wants to take care of their families, right? And pay bills and live in a place that they can afford. But people need to also understand that you were given that privilege in society because y'all's peoples pillaged and plundered. And then another thing, UK people, while y'all over here cussing me out in the comment section and telling me that I'm ignorant, why the fuck are y'all still giving money to the prince and the queen and the monarch? Y'all really need to be mad at them. Y'all need to be clocking that tea. Because y'all's taxes, instead of that being extra money for y'all are playing for the royals and their fancy living. So don't take your frustration out on me, honey. Y'all don't want me to go there. Not just fine. Shout out to all my UK subscribers. It wasn't, it wasn't like the UK tea sippers. It was like, you could tell they was random people who never heard of me, so they was trying to like just find something wrong with my video. But I think that's really all. Y'all really need to get together. Y'all need to get together with the brown folks, the Muslims, the Africans, the Caribbeans. All y'all need to get together, and the white people, and stop paying the monarchy. There's no reason that before Queen Elizabeth died, them jewels in her crown were worth more than some small countries. That is just the jewels in her crown. They were worth millions of dollars. And she died, rest in peace to the queen or whatever, but guess what? She couldn't take none of that with her to the grave. Now clock that tea. At the end of the day, everybody's human. No matter your status in society, no matter your wealth, no matter how rich or how poor you are, we all have to face our maker one day. So how about we treat each other better as human beings? How about we understand that everything we do in one place affects another place? So I'm going to leave on that message. So TZ, I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much. Oh, no, actually it wasn't TZ. It was first second. I hope I answered your question. Let me see here. Nina Senpai says, Romani people are usually called gypsies. But gypsy is considered a slur. Also, Romani is another name for gypsies. Okay, now I've heard of gypsies. Because they got gypsies, because I know Emily be telling me about gypsies. Like, she grew up with gypsies or something where she lives in Tennessee. I guess they got gypsies out there. Because I've never met a gypsy, to be honest with you. Or maybe they were and I just didn't know. I probably assumed they were different ethnicity. But I know she said there's a lot of gypsies out there in Tennessee, like where she stays. So Romani is another name for gypsy. So I've heard of gypsy. I never heard of Romani. So thank you for that. Again, I don't know everything. I learned a lot of stuff from y'all too. You know what I'm saying? But you can teach people stuff without cussing them out and calling them ignorant just because they don't know. Like, I said they were brown. I said they were people of color. I just didn't know their ethnicity. Let's see here. Princess Kayla says the riot in the UK now are because of the children who are unalived, and the far right have used it to trash the place and protest about immigration. Yeah, I talked about that in the video. I did a whole breakdown on that. So thank you, Kayla. TZ sent 20 says, I love you, T. My family's watching you on TV, and my mom says you look like Chili from TLC. Oh, thank you. Just letting you know you got it going on. I always feel like the oppressors... I always feel like when the oppressors are being oppressed, keep speaking, T. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you and your family for supporting me and supporting my videos. Thank you so much. Food Goddess Senpai says, Canada too. I'm a fraud agent at the call center. If I had $1 or for every time I heard speak Canadian English, that's a shame. Well, thank you so much, sis, and you keep on doing your job to the best of your ability, and don't let them people get you down. So thank you for checking in with me. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Miss Melanated said 199 and says Venezuela was destabilized by the U.S./CIA. Yep. And that's the problem. People aren't ready for that conversation. Everybody wants to say that all of these minority countries and these so-called third world countries, which is a derogatory term, they're all tripping for no reason. And, why can't they just let things be? But nobody wants to go into the history of how they got into the situation that they got into. Just like, and there's a lot of things that we're not taught here. Just like, I learned so much when I did that deep dive on Hawaii, because we're not taught about the history of Hawaii in the mainland. And now I understand why a lot of the Hawaiians call white people Hollies and they have issues because their land was taken from them and they were subjugated. But nobody wants to have that conversation. Just like even in Puerto Rico, you know, all this stuff I learned while we were out there, you know, how they came and they told the Puerto Ricans when they got taken over by the U.S., this is what Donnie was telling me. Me and her were having a private conversation about like, you know, oppression and slavery and just all that stuff and colonization. And we were talking about the colonization in Hawaii. And then I told her I wanted her to tell me more about the colonization that went on in Puerto Rico. And she was saying that once a country is colonized, there's a certain amount of years that you're not allowed to fly your original flag. So in Hawaii, they were not allowed to fly the Hawaiian flag for 50 years. They could not fly their original flag. That is why now in Hawaii, you see the Hawaiian flag being flown proudly. That is why, and I never knew this about Puerto Rico. She said in Puerto Rico, they weren't allowed to fly the Puerto Rican flag for several years. I want to say close to 10. I might be wrong. It might be more. It might be less. But she said that is why Puerto Ricans rep that flag the way that they do. And I said, now it makes sense. When I go to New York, you see the Puerto Rican flag on people's cars and people's windows. They have whole Puerto Rican flag outfits. I said, is that why Puerto Ricans like really be on their flag shit? She said, yes, because they were colonized by America and they were forced to fly the American flag. And so once, you know, they finally settled everything and did the treaty, then at that point, they went back to their original flag. But she told me that the original flag color was a light blue, but then they were kind of low-key forced to change it to a dark blue to match the American flag color. You know what I'm saying? So I love learning stuff about people's cultures and about different stuff. I don't know everything. You know what I mean? So I always look forward to like hearing stuff. And, you know, so it's like, I'm appreciative of any information that people can give me, but just be respectful with it. You ain't got to call me ignorant and all that other stuff. It's not that serious because, again, I didn't even have to report on the UK news, but I felt like it needed to be reported on because this was affecting people, including my subscribers in the UK who I want them to be safe and understand what's going on. But yeah, you know what I mean? A lot of countries around the world suffer from, you know, being colonized and colonization. And then we just expect these countries that were colonized for years, every country, Nigeria, so many countries in West Africa, all through Africa, not every country in Africa, but at least 90%. And then we expect them to be on the same standard as America when they just got uncolonized and got their freedom 50 years ago. And it took us over 400 years to get to where we're at now. It's not fair. Yep, the Caribbeans. All through the Caribbeans. Look what Haiti's going through. Haiti is so, man, I feel so bad because I have a lot of Haitian friends. They can't even go back to Haiti to visit. It's just too dangerous. They're so destabilized now. It's insane what's going on in Haiti. And it wasn't like, I mean, they've always had their issues, don't get me wrong. But now it's really bad. You know, so like I always tell you guys, definitely keep up with global politics, with global news, because at the end of the day, it affects us all. It really does. So let me read these last two super chats here. The Unpopular Party sent $4.99, says, hey, T, I hope this super chat goes through. Glad I caught your live. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming through. And I hope you enjoyed your birthday. I seen your birthday pictures. You was out there doing your thing. So thank you so much. Let's see here. Kay Wilson, $4.99. I gotta go because I'm coughing now, child. I need to go lay down. Says, will you do a deep dive on space? I know you don't believe in it, and I'm interested on your take. Oh my gosh. We were talking about that in Puerto Rico, and I was making a lot of good points at the beach. I was showing them little things, especially when I went to the beach at night. I think that really hit home. Not saying people gotta agree, but it hit home with what I was trying to, my message. But I'm not gonna talk about that on YouTube. I might do a deep dive on it, but then, you know, people be trying to call me crazy. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, on that note, I've been out here for 2 hours, losing my voice, tired. Gonna go ahead and log off, but you guys, thank you so much for the wonderful stream. I had a good time. Once again, happy birthday, Moneybag Mode. Thank you for coming through and just showing love on your birthday. So you guys, I'm gonna get up out of here and go ahead and do my little thing. Thank y'all for watching. I love you guys. Have a good night. I will talk to everyone later.